Hai, Assalamualaikum. Nama saya Tunku Danny, saya pengasas dan CEO of MicroLEAPs. Come, this is our office. Okay, come this way. I'd like to introduce you to my operations team. This is Azwani.
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
And this here is Izati.
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
And over here we have my very own Matthew Fernandez, our Chief Operating Officer.
Hi guys.
And here is the hot seat. This is where the CEO sits, which is myself. Come this way. Over here we have Hami, who is in compliance.
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
And, oh, the phone's ringing. And lastly, we have our Chief Marketing Officer. Where is he?
I'm
With the
here.
camera.
Alright guys, Assalamualaikum everyone, thanks for joining us.
Okay. Alright, so come, let's get started. Matthew, take a seat. Okay, how's everyone doing today on CMCO? First day. Hope everyone is following the SOPs, putting on their mask and sanitizing as much as they can. Seeing as I know Matt pretty well, who is right here next to me. Hi Matt.
Hi guys. Always good to follow SOPs.
Yep.
Kita jaga kita. Hashtag.
That's right. Okay, but since we seem to be okay, I'll take off my mask just for this presentation. So hi, my name is Tunku Danny Nasifuddin Muzaffar. I am the founder and CEO of MicroLEAP, and welcome to our office. As you can see, it's a pretty small office. We only have 6 people, including 2 operations team, 1 compliance, 1 chief marketing officer, 1 chief operating officer. Hi, that's Mazuki, our CMO, and myself, the CEO. So before we begin, let's just start off with a video so you know exactly what we're about. Okay? Okay, let me get this up. Looking for alternative financing you can trust? You'll find it right here at MicroLEAPs. Islamic and Conventional P2P Microfinancing. Get access to card-sourced funds. MicroLEAP provides personal accident insurance, online debt management and accounting video training at no extra cost. Okay, let's get back to it. Right, so just a quick introduction. So as it states before, MicroLEAP is an Islamic and conventional peer-to-peer microfinancing platform. So we assist micro enterprises raise P2P financing from as little as 1,000 ringgit up to 50,000 ringgit. So how it works is that these micro businesses, small businesses, normally in the B40 group, who needs, for example, my favorite example is my makcik in Kuala Pilah that needs 10,000 ringgit for a kedai runcit. She may raise P2P financing from 100 or so P2P investors. Now these P2P investors are actually the lenders who are financing these small businesses, and in return they will get a profit rate if it's Islamic and an interest rate if it's conventional. Let me just bring you a quick video just so that you know what it's all about. Looking for alternative investments that provide better returns than fixed deposits? Try P2P financing with MicroLEAP. So, what are the steps? Go onto our website and create an account. Choose Become an Investor. Fill in the applicant details including full name, IC and date of birth. Scan or take a picture of the front and back of your IC. Choose Files and Upload. Then either upload a scanned copy of your bank statement or transfer 1 ringgit online from your bank account. Agree and click the agreement, TNC and privacy policy. Click submit and wait for us to carry out our checks. Once due diligence has been carried out, you're approved. Add to your available balance by FBX or online transfer, or by cash deposit, check or bank transfer. Go to the funding list and search for investment notes. Find the returns and tenors that suits you. Click on the investment note to find out more about the issuer or borrower. Once you like what you see, choose your amount and click Invest Now. Or choose Auto Invest and select your criteria so that you don't miss out on any investments. Here's your term sheet which details your trade. And you have 24 hours to retract your investment if you change your mind. The payment schedule tells you when you receive your payments. Regulated by the Securities Commission Malaysia. Happy investing! Right, as you can see, it's pretty simple to apply on our platform and become an investor. And what is great is that your investments are making a huge impact to all these businesses that require their working capital needs. So with that, Matt, maybe you can just talk to us about our issuers. What are they, and how does it all work?
All right, so our issuers are quite wide-ranging. We are sector agnostic. That's quite important to know. We have from your pisang goreng seller in JB, right up to thankfully a Negri issuer as well, right smack on Malaysia Day, where we got all our issuers from every state. So that's something we're really proud of. But mainly we're looking at from your PKS micro right up to SMEs as well. So that's because our sweet spot is between 1,000 and 50,000. And
Can I
6
ask
to
a
36
question,
months.
please?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, that voice is that's our chief marketer officer, Marzuki. Yes, Marzuki, what do you want to ask?
Okay, most important as an issuer, if you pay late, what's going to happen?
Okay, just a quick one. Obviously, now it's COVID, so it's been quite tough for most of our issuers and everyone in between. But main thing is there is a 7-day grace period, and on day 30, we call our default management process is on day 30 is default. So since we called we want to have the conversation as early as possible, and on day 52, if things are still not progressing well, that's when we have to get in our debt recovery agency, and day 90 is the legal. But of course, the advantage and I think our main strength in MicroLEAP is we care a lot about our issuers, and we have the conversation as early as possible, because we rather not have any issuer go into default, and we definitely take care of our issuers' needs and adjust accordingly.
So what we normally do, the reason that we have our default process on day 30, considered default, which is much earlier than many of the other P2P operators, is that we want to have the conversation with the issuer as early as possible. You know, they may have issues, short term. Right now they may not have the funds, but they will for that down the line. So what we can do is look to have the conversation, see how we can help them, see how we can restructure the financing. So what we normally do, we look to extend the maturity of the financing. So for example, if a issuer is financed for 12 months, if we extend it to 24 months, it's a win-win for everyone. So basically the issuer has to pay less every month, but in the long run, all the P2P investors get more profit if it's Islamic, or more interest if it's conventional by the end of the extended period.
Also, can you just explain how do you apply as an issuer?
Yeah, so what we do in terms of how we apply as an issuer, the first thing we can do is just show you a quick video, and you will understand more. So just give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Are you a small business owner looking for alternative financing? Try P2P financing with MicroLEAP. So what do you need to do? Go on to our website and create an account. Then choose Raise Funds. Fill in your funding details, including funding amount, tenor, and purpose of funds. Start by filling in your business details in our easy-to-follow steps. You will need to have a guarantor for this financing. Simply scan or take a picture and upload your identification documents. Then upload your business bank and financial statements. If your revenue goes into your personal account, upload your personal bank statement. Next, upload other supporting documents that you think might help with your application. Also, upload your business premise photos and make sure it is attractive enough for us to feature on our platform. Then agree and click the agreement, T&C and privacy policy. And click submit and wait for our team to carry out our checks. You will also need to complete a psychometric test that measures your willingness to pay your installments. Once we have completed our credit checks, you are approved for financing. You will then need to fill out a simple Q&A so that P2P investors know what your business is about, like the reason for financing and future plans. Then your investment note will be featured on our funding list, ready for investment. You have 30 days to raise your funds, and once your note is successfully filled, we will disperse your financing direct into your bank account. Remember to keep track with your monthly payment due dates. Thank you for choosing MicroLEAP. Good luck! Okay, so one of the things that is what MicroLEAP is all about is impact. Okay, how can your investments impact these micro enterprises? So it's all about value add. So maybe Matt, you can discuss about what value adds things that we have on our platform.
Yeah, sure. There's plenty that sets us aside. The key thing is what is actually mitigation for both the issuer and the investor would be grouped personal accident insurance. So that micro insurance that we provide, at no extra cost, by the way, to either the investor or the issuer, is that in the event, say the food truck driver, as we're looking to onboard these guys, gets into an accident, breaks his arm, or if he passed away, no matter which way, say he's got 40,000 left of his 50,000 financing, the entire 40,000 principal is covered by our microinsurance partner, and the premiums are covered by MicroLEAP. That'll be one of the main ones. We also provide basic debt management accounting training, and also at no extra cost.
That's online video training.
Yeah, online video training. In English and BM, very important to note. So at least these guys have a feel and also understand how to do the bookkeeping. Actual issuers on our platform have actually commented that they've improved so much, because before it's just Buku 555, which all Malaysians are very aware of. And now they can actually are comfortable to actually use the Excel formats that we provided, because now they know basic bookkeeping, basic debt management, and we make sure that they pass all these modules before they receive their financing, which is really important, whether Islamic or conventional. Also, the other value add we have is we have Grameen group financing as well. That's also unique to us. So we have a group of 5 issuers, which must be from the same kampong or same district, because it can't work if, say, 2 are in Sabah and the other 3 are in Kelantan. That obviously won't work, because there has to be that peer support, peer pressure system in place. Because that's when, if, say, one of the issuers are having trouble in paying their repayments for the month, the other 4 can help cover for that month. Similar to what the Grameen model, basically, we're digitizing aspects of the Grameen model, and which is very successful in one of our partners, Ikhtiar Malaysia here.
So the reason that we provide this online video training, because the sector that we are trying to target is the micro enterprises. These are majority B40 or bottom 40% income group, B40 owned businesses that may not have access previously to the correct type of education. So financial literacy is a major issue for them. None of them really know profit and loss statement. None of them know how to do a balance sheet. Now, what we provide at first is a simple Excel sheet when they fill in their application form, where these micro enterprises can fill in all the figures from their Buku 555 or pieces of paper onto this Excel sheet, and it automatically calculates the sales and profit for them. So they can see every month where they are. They also have to fill in the figures on the balance sheet Excel sheet, and it automatically calculates the figures for them as well. Now, the online video training is very important because we have to make sure that these micro enterprises, when they receive the funds, they know what to do with it. So we give them modules on basic debt management, we give them modules on what is P2P, and we give them modules on basic bookkeeping.
Yep. Also, for the Islamic bit, which is also something we're really trying to push, the Islamic digital economy, is that we absorb the commodity brokerage fees. Because, and Tunku Danny will definitely elaborate later on microLEAP Islamic and what we offer. But the main takeaway I want to give is that's a huge competitive advantage for microLEAP, because there's again no extra cost to the issuer or the investor, and that's also been, I think, what's really pushed us in this last year or so.
Yeah, I think I can elaborate further on that. So the reason that I find sometimes that the take up for Islamic finance is pretty low is that conventional costs are much cheaper than Islamic. For example, in Takaful, right? Takaful premiums, excuse me, are much higher than conventional premiums for the same type of insurance product that you are requesting. So what we do for a conventional financing amount is at the exact same cost as for an Islamic financing amount. And how we do that is that microLEAP actually absorbs the brokerage fee for the commodity murabaha, which I can explain later. Maybe I want to go back to the investors, Matt. When you see investors, there's always a disconnect between what investors want and what the issuers want. What you find is that investors, they want to invest short term, and the issuers, they want to get financed long term. The reason is when they get financed long term, their monthly installments are much smaller compared to if they squeezed it in a shorter tenor. So what we have actually come up with, which I absolutely love, is the League of Extraordinary Investors. Now, in this league, you get points for diversification. Okay, you get points for investing longer tenors. You get points for large amounts, and you get points for having multiple notes per month, which will encourage diversification of your risk. So as soon as you invest, you get on our League of Extraordinary Investors league table, and you can click on the league and find out exactly where you are.
Tunku Danny, can you just do a demo on the website?
Okay, let me just show you our platform right now. So if you can see, this is our homepage. Our website is both in English as well as Bahasa Malaysia. All you have to do is just click on BM and it will change to our Bahasa Malaysia website. So you go back to English. This is the homepage. If you scroll down, these are current statistics. I'm proud to say that we have 0% default rate at the moment, and we have 26 fully funded notes. But if you go down to see the league, this is our League of Extraordinary Investors. So on the right here, you can see who is in the top 5. Obviously, you won't show your name outright, but you will be told your unique ID so you can see. So every month in what you can receive is the top 3 for every month will get cash prizes. Matt, what's our cash prizes?
For monthly, it's 100, 50, and 20.
Okay, and you also get
yearly. Don't
yearly.
forget to add on yearly. It's for 500 for first prize,
Yep.
300 for second prize, and 100 for third prize.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
So these are prizes. So monthly winners, 100 ringgit, 50 ringgit, and 20 ringgit. Annual grand prizes are 500 ringgit, 300 ringgit to 100 ringgit. Okay, so we have quite a number of people really looking at this, seeing where they are every month in the league. If you click on this button, you can find out who the winners are. And also who the losers are. There we go.
I just thought it was just for show, right? It's not real losers.
Yeah.
But also, what's really important is the fact that the higher your ranking, the lower your fees.
Yeah. So basically, you're working towards lower fees. So your points will increase, and you go through levels of rookie, apprentice, champion, and lastly Sifu. So when you hit champion level, your fees go down, and when you hit Sifu level, you will get the lowest fees as an investor on our platform.
And it'll be flat till
the lifetime.
Till lifetime.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
One more thing, Tunku Danny and Matt. Since we're talking about investors, can you give some tips on how to invest on MicroLEAP? What's your advice?
Okay, so in terms as an investor, the strategy for every single P2P investor is diversification. Okay, now in the P2P market space, default rates range from 1% to 10%. So we do have P2P operators that actually have a default rate of 10%, which means 10% of their investment notes have defaulted. Now for us, we are at 0% default rate. Reason being is that we're very young and we have a very strict credit criteria. But we try to manage this risk by having a target of between 0 to 3% default rate. That really is our target, and we want to keep at the moment. So when you diversify, if you have 1,000 ringgit to spend, for example, split that up, split that into investments of between 50 to 100 ringgit. Okay, try to invest in as many notes as you can, so that in the event of a default, only a certain percentage of your notes go bad.
Also, all our notes have a guarantor, which is very important. So that is something as how we can mitigate other than the PA insurance that covers your principal. And what else will be a good?
There's no sub fees.
Yep, no sub hidden fees. That's one. That's true. Thanks, Zuki. That's important. And yeah, that's I think also, as Tunku Danny touched on it, is the fact that this is really attractive for both, and actually in particular the Islamic investors, because we definitely keep everything transparent. Whatever you see on our website, whatever you see on our funding calculator, I think which we can go through, what you see there is what you we are fully transparent. What you see is what you get. Yeah.
Matt, why not you explain what our fees are for issuers and investors, and on top of that, maybe just give us elaborate on how the credit score works.
Okay, for the fees for the investor, as already mentioned, and Tunku Danny touched on the league, is that we start at 2, but you work your way down.
A 2% one-off fee. So you get charged a 2% one-off fee. So for every single investment, we just charge you 2% one-off, even if it's 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. It's just a 2% one-off fee. But as Matt said before, you are working towards getting lower fees. So the more points you get, eventually you will hit lower fees, down to 1.5% when you're a champion, and down to 1% when you become Sifu level.
Yep. Issuers, likewise, we charge a one-off fee of 8%. So in the event, say it's a 3-year tenor, that actually works out to only 2.67 a year. We don't have any recurring fees after that. Likewise for the investor as well. If it's 2% one-off fee for a 3-year tenor, it's actually 0.67. So it's not that high.
Yeah. So our issue fees are an 8% one-off fee, and that it's quite minimal compared to if you take it for the 3-year tenor.
Yeah.
Now, maybe we can speak about impact. So we're all about impact. That's why as you can see, our logo is small steps, big impact. And that is why we focus on the B40 micro enterprises. The reason is a small amount of money will have a large impact on these micro enterprises which we are trying to help. So maybe just give us a few examples who we have helped, Matt.
Yeah, off the bat, immediately is Bonpa from JB, a pisang goreng seller. That family business actually is very close to my house in Johor, so I know exactly where they are. But more importantly, they were basically in business for over 30 years. I grew up even cycling there, I know exactly, but as I mentioned. But more importantly, they were just got registered over a year ago. So obviously when it comes to getting a banking working capital facility, that was not happening. They came to us, just a bunch of investors from as little as some were 10 ringgit, 50 ringgit, right up to a couple of thousand, funded their investment note of nearly 20,000 ringgit. And the changes that they did to the shop just because of this one investment is huge. Now that entire place looks so new. We have the before and afters. Actually, Zuki has shared it to all our current investors, and once you jump on our bandwagon, we'll share you all these success stories. Because basically we want to show you that as little bit of an investment you did goes a long way for these guys. Because they are really creditworthy. Because we've done our checks, we're very stringent, but more importantly, we knew that they pivoted during COVID. So they had Grab, Foodpanda. We knew that they're doing well, and thankfully, they are one of the early repayment issuers that we have as well.
So, in terms of who we've helped, we've helped a cookie seller in Johor. We've helped a chocolatier in Langkawi who sells chocolate in Langkawi. We've also helped a ayam salai seller selling ayam salai.
What's this place? The halal confectionery guy. He's
so we have someone who sells from the house halal confectionery on Lazada and Shopee. Now, let's go back to COVID-19 and how it's actually impacted our business. So you find that during COVID-19, it was stressful for everyone, especially when MCO came out in March. And what we found is, unfortunately, because of that, we had a lot of issuers coming in that were desperate for funds. Now, at MicroLEAP, because this is P2P financing, we always have to balance two sides of the coin. Okay, one side you have the P2P investors, and the other side you have the issuers. So we have to make sure that the issuers that we host on our platform will still be in business in a month's time, in 2 months' time. So what we look for are micro enterprises that have either pivoted online or have a side business where they're selling online. So for example, your Bunpa pisang goreng seller, she sells both on offline and
brick
online.
And click.
Click and mortar. The lady who sells cookies, she sells both in a shop as well as offline through online means. We have people who sell bundle clothes through Facebook, through WhatsApp.
Shopee.
And these are all these small micro enterprises who have understood that they have to pivot to an online business. They sometimes sell through Facebook, sometimes sell through WhatsApp.
Instagram.
They don't have to sell through Shopee and Lazada. They have other ways to get online. So these are the kind of micro enterprises that we are very keen to help, and we encourage if any of you micro enterprises that are looking for small amounts that have got some kind of online business to please apply. And the best is having an online offline business.
Yeah.
Also, to add on, an investor who wants to make an impact on their investment, correct?
Exactly. So those investors who actually want to have an impact on these businesses, please come in, become an investor. Minimum investment amount is only 50 ringgit, and we also give you a 10 ringgit free credit which you can use on our platform.
And for every referral, you also get 10 ringgit. Both are MicroLEAP credits that you can use on our platform only, not to withdraw. We are not some Tunai Rakyat wallet from the government, So make sure that it's the 10 ringgit is utilized on MicroLEAP.
Can you also add on what type of investors that we're looking for?
So the type of investors that we have. So the investors is split into kind of three kind of categories.
Yeah.
One are the retail investors. These are you, me, anyone from the public who wants to get returns that are better than EPF, that are better than ASB. Okay, our average returns are anywhere between 10 to 15% per annum. EPF, their returns is about 5.5% at the moment. ASB is about 5% as well. Fixed deposit with Bank Negara Malaysia slashing interest rates is anywhere between 1.75 to 2% per annum. So very low interest environment we're living in. Because of that, alternative investments is key for your portfolio if you really want to grow. So give P2P financing a try. Now let's talk about the types of financing that we have, Matt. So we have two types of financing on MicroLEAP. One is conventional financing, and two is Islamic financing. So what we have found, we went live in October 2019, and we were live with conventional only, and we were slowly growing, but not as quickly as I wanted to. We were live with our Islamic financing in April 2020, and this is when our investment notes actually started kicking off, isn't it?
Yep.
What we found is that people are seeking Islamic assets. People have a strong need for Islamic assets. And because we're the one of a few players in Malaysia that offer Islamic P2P investments or Islamic P2P financing, we were actually starting a big growth rate in terms of investors coming on board and our investment notes being filled. So in terms of our Islamic investments, it is based on commodity murabaha, which is based on the Sharia principle of tawarruk. So how it works is for every Sharia compliant financing, there's a commodity trade on the back of each financing. So how it makes it Islamic is that you are buying and selling commodities, and you have a deferred payment structure on the back of it, so that at the end of it, you're not paying interest, you're actually paying profit on that commodity. Now, this commodity murabaha or tawarruk arrangement has been approved by our Sharia advisors and also been approved by the Sharia Advisory Council of the Securities Commission. Now, commodity murabaha is also used by many banks, which is approved by Bank Negara Malaysia. So we follow and adhere to very strict Sharia compliant rules when we talk about our Sharia compliant investments and our Sharia compliant financing. Now, having said that, it doesn't matter who the investor is when you're investing into a Sharia compliant investment note. You don't have to be a Muslim to invest in a Sharia compliant investment note. As long as you believe in ethical principles based on Islamic teachings, for example, no gambling, no cigarettes, no alcohol. These are very ethical principles that can be found in Islam and also in Islamic financing. So if you believe in ethical, features or ethical processes in place, then encourage you to invest in MicroLEAP and become a P2P investor.
Also, just to add on, is the fact that transparency. We are fully transparent, no hidden fees. We absorb the brokerage fees, which is very important. So that's where we've made it a level playing field now. So whether you invest in Islamic or conventional, your interest for conventional, if it's principal plus interest for conventional or principal plus profit for Islamic, remains the same. And everything's actually found on our website via the funding calculator.
That's right. So basically, for every given credit rating on MicroLEAP, be it conventional or Islamic, the interest rate or profit rate is exactly the same. The costs are exactly the same. So there's no reason for you to choose conventional. You can choose Islamic because most of our investor base are all looking for Islamic assets. So actually, we've converted quite a few issuers that are looking for conventional. But when you told them that there's no cost switching to Islamic, and you are not on the non-Sharia compliant list that we have, then we had many people looking for Islamic financing, isn't it?
Both issuers and of course investors also. Good pickup on both sides.
Yeah. The time, how much time we have?
it's
It looks like
about,
we're 35
5
minutes.
We've got 5 minutes left. Maybe you can do a little demo on the calculation or back on the web browser. if that's okay.
Psychometrics as well. Just to
Yeah.
share that.
Meanwhile, you can talk about psychometrics, right?
Okay, yeah. So to add on how we do our credit scoring, very important bit of our credit scoring, because as we know, quite a lot of the PKS micro, they call it the thin files, because basically they have either no credit history or hardly any credit history. That's where the psychometric testing comes in. It's available in all languages. One of our UNCDF partners actually. So that actually helped a lot, because so far we even with our own new data within this last 1 year, we can clearly see that the ones who scored well on our psychometric testing are actually really good paymasters, good issuers that we had on board. And if they did score badly, that actually affects their overall credit score at MicroLEAP, and that is actually something I think Tunku Danny can help illustrate as well or elaborate.
Yeah, so basically, psychometric testing is an alternative credit scoring method, because as Matthew said, not the credit history for many of our micro enterprises, our B40 owned businesses, they don't have a strong credit score. So if they go to a bank, they find it very difficult to get a bank loan. Now, because we are alternative financing, right? We take care of the businesses that fall through the cracks of traditional banking. We help these micro enterprises get access to financing through our platform. And one of the ways that we credit score them is this alternative scoring method, which we said was psychometric testing, which measures the willingness or ability for an issuer to repay the financing. So with that, maybe we can just give you a little bit taster of our business funding calculator.
Yep.
So as an issuer, if you scroll down to our business funding calculator, you can straight away see how much your monthly payments are. So for example, in this case, 10,000 ringgit at 12% per annum, at 12 months funding tenor, you have to pay 900 ringgit 33 a month. But if you increase that to 24 months, automatically it calculates that you only have to pay 517 ringgit a month. If you increase your tenor to 36 months, you only have to pay 378 ringgit a month.
Also important bit, whether you do 6, 12, 24 or 36, if you notice the hosting fee, that's where it remains the same.
Yeah, as you said before, the hosting fee is at 8% one-off fee. So it doesn't matter the tenor that you choose.
Yeah.
So you can play around with the sliders. You can go all the way up to find out how much 20,000 is going to cost me per month. It's 756 ringgit a month. I can go all the way down to 50,000. That's going to cost me 1,889 ringgit a month.
Tunku Danny, can you just show how the funding list looks like?
Okay, so as a P2P investor, you want to see what investment notes are available out there. So you go down to the funding list, you click on here. It will take you to the page of all the live notes we have. So for example, there's V8's Garage, Tanah Merah. He is looking for 24 months at 12% per annum, and the business is based in Kelantan. He's got 26 days left, and he's 61% funded already. So you click on the investment note. It brings up even more information. For example, is this a Sharia compliant investment note? All our Q&A is both in English and in BM. So it's yes, find out what the business does. It's questions on who is the owner, key person. Questions on what their future plans, what's their annual sales turnover, number of years business. And lastly, at the end, we have a rationale behind the issuer's credit risk score, which is our own comments. This is key. It just gives you a bit of flavor of why this is a medium risk 5, MR5. And so it helps you make a bit of an informed decision of when you want to invest. So when you do want to invest, you will go on to the slider here. So he needs up to 7,240. So minimum investment is 50 ringgit. You can play around, say it goes to 500. Now I'm not logged in as an investor, but if you are logged in as an investor, you will click here and you'll simply invest, and you have 24 hours to retract your investment in case you think there's an issue or you had fat fingers and you want to retract.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, I think we've now done 40 minutes of our first ever webinar. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you,
You've been
Danny.
a great co-host. And Mazuki, maybe you can come in finally.
See you guys.
That's Mazuki over there.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
So thank you very much. With that, we will just say goodbye.
Happy investing.
Happy investing and stay safe.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye.